Hello and welcome to our special anniversary episode of the Just Another Castle podcast, where we're celebrating both the 50th episode and our 1 year anniversary conveniently at the same time. I'm your host Matt, and with me this week are...
Me, Mike, the best. Nah, Mike from Game Night Live, New York. What up, y'all?
I'm Eli. I hail from Michigan State, live in Colorado, back in Michigan for schooling.
Yo, I'm Unoclay, one of the guys sitting in here with these guys. I'm from Philadelphia. I hang out on my IGN.
And our super special guest...
I'm leaning in, waiting.
Who could it be?
Is that a Xenoblade song?
Is he walking out with the smoke, the smoke filling out the stage and the curtains opening up? Is that
He's coming down the aisle now. He's going to talk any moment.
Grabbing a mic.
Hello, everyone.
What?
Yeah.
Flia.
I did not expect this. Okay, I did not expect this.
Yeah. I'm going to say something that all the people didn't expect from me, but I think Xenoblade Chronicles is a very good franchise.
Surprising comments.
Words of wisdom from something I never expected.
I'm going to say who I am very soon, but for people that didn't already guess it, I think that Xenoblade Chronicles is one of the best games ever made. So there's that, and also Xenoblade Chronicles X is a very excellent game, but it's not as good as the first one. I will say that too. So, and I'm humbly Flia D'Aloisio from IGN, and I'm currently living in Argentina, but I was born in Germany. So if people want to know a little more things about me, my facts, you can check on my blog, in my profile page. You have every info there. So I'm really humbled to be part as a guest in this podcast that I was also a member, active member, and I'm here, guys. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, so it's great to have you back on. So yeah, some of you newer listeners don't know, Flia was one of the main members for the longest time for both Just Another Castle and the My IGN Nintendo podcast when that was running. And then he had to leave to pursue other things and whatnot. And then we had, filler guests every now and then, and Unoclay became a part of our crew. But Flia's back.
Yeah, I feel kind of like awkward because my butt is in your seat and like Flia's kind of sitting on the edge of my lap, and it's kind of weird. So Flia, if you need a seat.
He actually flew in from Argentina to Philadelphia. He's sitting in on Clay's mic.
I want to say something
over his shoulder.
I'm really happy and proud that you, Clay, took the time to take my seat in the podcast. So I'm really humbled, and I know that this will sound very awkward, but I'm really also a very huge fan. Listen yourself, guys. So keep up the great work and continue doing great. Cause
group hug. Everybody, bring it in.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
So usually we start off the show with what we've been playing, but to keep it more about the anniversary, we're going to cut most of that out. But because we did promise Flia if he lived past through Xenoblade Chronicles X, we'd let him talk about it. So did you want to talk about the new Xenoblade Chronicles for a couple of minutes and tell us your thoughts on it?
Yeah. I will talk not a lot because it's not so much to talk about. So really, but in some sort of way, technically speaking, the game is flawless. I never encountered a defect. I never encountered any problems with the frame that is so dropping below to 30 frames per second, and also I never encountered a problem or the game crashed on me, never. And I have clocked almost 200 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles X. So,
wow. Have you finished the game?
Yes, I finished the main story, yes, but the game continues in some sort of way with a little bit more of side missions, and also all these these enemies that are called like tyrants. For example, the level cap in the game is 60, and these tyrants goes almost to 99.
Oh
So
gosh.
you have to really use strategy to beat these tyrants. It doesn't matter if you have the best robot or the best equipment or the best guns. There are some tyrants that are vulnerable or susceptible to certain types of attack. So you have to really change your strategy and weapons and whatever you equip your skills. So it really makes the replayability after the story mode very good and solid. But I will say this, Xenoblade Chronicle X is not Xenoblade Chronicles. So story-wise and in some sort of things, I loved the first one even more, and I like that sort of way that regardless if the game is an open world game, you have some sort of linearity in the story,
Yeah.
But in the second one, in Xenoblade Chronicle X, that doesn't happen. So it's really everything for you, and it's right there from the start. So that sort of way is really cool for people that love MMORPGs or people that really love to explore. But for me, that I'm really into the story, what the hell is happening in the world, and why the fact that this ship crashed on the planet and whatever, etc. I don't like that they gave me the story like breadcrumbs, So that sort of way is not a positive thing for me, but still is a pretty solid game. For example, if I want to compare the work that Monolith did on the first one and on the second one, technologically speaking and technically speaking, they went to another level, a whole new level. They really improved a lot. But I think if I will give a score, the first one I give a 10 out of 10. Xenoblade Chronicle, the first one. But the second one I give it an 8 out of 10. It's a very solid game, but it's not perfect for me.
Okay. So after 200 hours, how many mechs have you bought by now?
I have 8 mechs.
Oh my gosh.
I have a 3-people squad that I only change the last member because I have Elma and Lynn every time with me. So when you have a group with 3 powerful of the 4 mechs, the last member, regardless if his level is below, you still have a powerful team, Yeah. But if you have only one powerful member, for example, yourself, and you have 3 other members with low level cap and low scales, you won't get right a lot of the time, and you will fail a lot in the mission. So I recommend to everyone that's playing the game to keep the original squad of 3 members and only change the 4th member.
That's weird. So the newer members don't really offer as much, I guess, as the first ones you get?
Yeah, but that is because you also in the game have this sort of affinity missions, And when you reach the 5 hearts with Elma and Lynn, if you do all the affinity missions of both characters, you will get not only more experience points, but also more, how can I put it? You will master both characters, and also knowing the little things of their personal story that doesn't show in the main story.
Okay. Yeah, and the mechs aren't really cheap either. I heard they're pretty dang expensive, and even if you break them, you have to pay for them again to repair them. So that's nuts that you have 8 mechs.
Yeah, you really have to be careful with the mechs because you only have insurance to break the mechs 3 times, and then after that, the insurance policy, if you don't have the free ticket insurance that you get online, you will have to pay. For example, if the mech costs 1 million, you have to pay 30% of that.
Can I just interject and say that as someone who doesn't play this game, I find it friggin' hilarious that there's a game that has insurance in it. It's like, what is this, real life? Like, great, now this is real life. Like next
you have
to be like pulling you over for a headlight.
You have to treat. I remember reading and listening to the Iwata Ask from Xenoblade Chronicle X when he was alive. I read every Iwata Ask. It was one of the favorite things that I did. I still do. I reread some of them. And in the Iwata Ask, when he interviewed the members of Xenoblade Chronicle X dev teams, the producer said that they wanted to make the player to buy the mech and maintain the mech with the parts and also the insurance like your real life car,
Mm-hmm.
The way that you feel when you buy your car, and you know that you have to get parts when it breaks, and it's a lot of money, and then the insurance is monthly money when it's the same thing in the game. And it's really well done.
Really funny. Like, I treat my car like crap, so my mech would be like all banged up. I tell you what.
You wouldn't have a mech anymore. You'd be like, I bought this, it broke, screw it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to let Flia talk a bit about Xenoblade because for those people who haven't been listening to the podcast as long, it's kind of a tradition for Flia to talk about Xenoblade and gush about it a lot. So I wanted to get his new thoughts on the new
if
game.
I remember correctly, Flia made a promise that when Xenoblade came out, he would, quote, die and, and not show up on the podcast again. And I guess he got some sort of early copy of Xenoblade because he delivered on that promise just a little early.
We're surprised he's alive. He's probably going to die.
I also delivered on the promise that I won't be active when I had Xenoblade, and I was 1 month active less in my IGN.
We noticed. I noticed that you were true to your promise. Like, you weren't on. You started to pop up on Miiverse. That I would see posts from you there, but that was like the only thing. Like, and I'm like, I knew it. He's playing that game. Like, I knew it.
Yeah. And regarding of the game in general, I have a huge amount of respect of Monolith to try to evolve the way that they develop RPGs. So perhaps if they learn from the mistakes of the first game and learn from the mistake of this second game, I think that the third one, that quote that says the third one is the last in the chance. I think that we will see in NX, I hope, if they continue making a Xenoblade franchise, I think that we will see their masterpiece.
I think that's a pretty good chance that series is going to go on. It's got a reasonably good following, so I think, that's definite. I mean, and I don't think RPGs, take the same amount of, kind of creative development, as, other sources, because the framework of the game is already kind of known. Not to talk down on RPGs, but I think it's a project they'd be crazy not to go on with at this point. They've kind of got it out there as one of their new franchises. Heck, Shulk's and Smash, there's more Xeno coming, so...
Yeah.
Cool. So I think we'll move on now to kind of the history behind the podcast, and that mostly the questions are mostly directed to Eli, although everyone can jump in if they have a little story or something to share. But since Eli, you started the crew, I want to ask you some questions. So the first one being, why did you start the My AGN Nintendo podcast?
So, I think a lot of us have been really big fans of the IGN podcast. We'd listen to them. They'd be really cool guys talking about it. And I was invited onto a podcast with this guy named Gamers Unanimous, who left my IGN a long time ago. It was me, him, Gotamoogles, and Pat. And so we just did this My IGN Q&A podcast where people ask questions and we'd answer them. It was kind of a humorous thing. And so from that I got an idea. It's like, hey, we should have a Nintendo podcast because that's something that I was, that's kind of my specialty, I guess.
Yeah.
And at the time I think I really only had a Wii. So something that, or in a DS. And it really felt like something I could talk to and talk about. So, and at that time, IGN was a really big community. It's kind of dead now, unfortunately. But when there were hundreds of members posting blogs, dozens of blog street every single day, an active community that was engaging in what you were doing, it seemed like the perfect place to start it up. So it was me at the beginning, along with, I think, Mike, this girl named Dark Princess Midna, whose real name is Leia, and Pat, who's Patrick Schrader. and we'd have a guest on every week, and it was just kind of the normal shindig that you've grown used to.
Just to point out something that you said, Elia, that the community was really big back then, is that a member of the community that, if I remember correctly, was Audrey Drake. She went from being a blogger to work in IGN, and now she's working at Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just to point out something.
So they were actually there was actually like a big crossover, and they would feature. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys, but like they would feature blogs on the front page. I think I had like 2 or 3 of my blogs featured on the front page. It was a big deal. I think I won a game code at one point in a contest. Like people were active, and it was a very awesome community. So people were listening and stuff, and I think we kept that going for about a year, maybe a little longer than a year, and then we stopped doing that. Kind of just died off. It was really hard to organize too. I don't know if Mike remembers. People are all over the place.
Yeah. Well, Patrick's is in. I don't know where Patrick's lives, but I'm sure it was. I think his schedule was off, kind of like Flia's, correct?
Yeah, his schedule was all over the place, and and I think Leia was also like back and forth between home, like all over the place, and she kind of could only schedule around her family and stuff like I could. And anyway, after a year of that, I think we went on hiatus for a little bit, and then people are like, "Hey, you should start up the Nintendo podcast again." And I was just like, "Yeah, okay." And at first, I wasn't really thinking about it seriously. And then at one point, after enough people were like, "Hey, you should start this up again," I'm like, "All right, we're gonna do this." And at that point, we got our second group, which was me, Matt, Flia, and Mike. And that's kind of where it took off. I think we did that for like a year. Then we changed the format to be shorter, and that's when we changed it to Just Another Castle. And we've done this now for another year. I don't know. I'm trying to think. We've gone from 2 weeks to
what? From what I remember, that was pretty good.
We've gone from 2 weeks.
Because I started listening somewhere back in there, and you guys were reconfiguring. Like for me, it's like I just think of it as like tuning in. I started to listen to you guys when Flia was still the 4th member, and listen to a lot of it, and would just crack up at you guys.
Yeah,
goofy.
I mean,
I didn't hear the iteration.
Yeah, it was cool. We're getting mail in all the time, because people were still commenting on blogs at that point.
And Flia had his anticipation
blogs.
Like
not be able to finish answering questions. I remember that.
Flia would post those anticipation blogs, which would get more comments than the actual
the actual
blog.
They're like, okay, we're gonna ask you guys these, and it's like, okay, and then we follow up with the question.
The problem with the question is that there were members of my IGN community. I will not name them, but there were really some lazy motherfuckers that they wrote the question in my newsfeed, So they didn't even check the blogs. So they say, hey, what do you think about the upcoming Ocarina of Time 3D and the 3DS? And I answer some of them, motherfucker, write the question in the blog. Why the hell did I do the blog?
Flia would but they were successful. He'd post like anticipation, new blog coming tomorrow. Get like 40 comments, and then I would actually post the podcast, and I would actually post the podcast the next day and would get like 6 comments or something. Everyone was having a party in Flia's blog post.
Yeah, it was so weird. Everyone's like, yeah, let's write questions, but let's not hear the answers. Well, I mean, I don't think we were able to really check how many listeners we got. But I mean, like, no one responded with comments as much as Flia's questions.
I think that
something about Flia.
From my research, we had average when we were together, an average of 50 to 60 listeners. In average.
We had more than that, actually. If I remember looking at those numbers, it was probably closer to...
there were some episodes. I remember that we had even almost 160 listeners at one time. But I remember one of the most listener episode was the one that was Anthony, gamer guy, was invited.
I think that was
a great episode.
That was definitely
and also Jono was invited. We had 2 guests that time.
Oh yeah, yep.
Those are some crazy podcasts.
We had a blast.
Yeah, the one with Anthony, I remember. That one went super long, I remember, and I think it did like incredibly well. I think it got even more. I think it was like closer to 250 people that listened to it or something.
Yeah.
Actually, for anyone who's listening who remembers Anthony, I actually have something to plug, which I might as well mention now since we're talking about him. Tomorrow night, he's still Anthony is now Katie, and let's just move past that. But Katie is now a game. Still uses Game Guy on IGN, but also uses another handle that I'll mention in a second. I believe it is. I have to look it up, but she uses another handle, and she's having on the Coco Brian Twitch stream tomorrow night is doing a little bit of a classic old My IGN Smash stream with a bunch of people that people will remember their handles. If you're a My IGNer, you'll remember people like Cookie Monster. That's Krista, and Sam is coming in, and they're both pretty darn good smashers. And I think I'm going to be there with them playing. They're probably going to have a couple of rooms open because there's a bunch of people signed up already. So for some games. So his Twitch stream is Coco Brian or Brian. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like Conan O'Brien. Like that's his influence.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I had talked to her earlier. Yeah, I didn't get that either. Yeah. So I talked to her earlier. Katie, formerly Game Guy, formerly Anthony, is having that stream and welcomes anyone to tune in because there's still a pretty active community of My IGNers. It's just ironic. A lot of people have migrated from My IGN or just don't post a lot. So that's out there. And she said to tune in and enjoy the stream. So maybe even join if you're a My IGNer and want to hit her up. Still popular, and she sends her best wishes to the podcast over here because I was just talking to her earlier this afternoon.
Awesome. So before moving on, I had a quick question, Eli. How did you come up with the original, either crew, I guess, with Mike, Leia, Patrick's, and yourself, and then again with me and Flia?
Oh my gosh. You think I don't
he saw my amazing blogs. He was like, "That's the best guy I've ever seen." I was like, Eli, please. I was like, if you flatter me more, I'll do it. And he's like, "No problem, buddy." All right. And that's how I got it.
Yeah, I was simple. I asked Eli because he in my IGN was Palcelan. I said, "Hey, Mike hates The Last of Us," and he said, "Yes, he hates the." Okay, I want to be part of the podcast because I love The Last of Us.
No, Eli came up to me. He's like, "What's
just to have a black-white situation, and then say, what games Mike really hates? These are my games of the year. Fuck them. I want to be part of the podcast."
All right, but really, I mean, I'm trying to think because like the original cast, I think I chose Pat because he was on that Q&A podcast with us. Mm-hmm. He's a cool guy. Man, I don't remember how I selected the original cast.
Okay.
I just remember I wrote a blog post and I'm like, who wants to be part of this? And then I think it was definitely, I think their My Gen level was definitely like a determining factor because I didn't want like some noobs, on the podcast.
I remember how you recruited me. I can speak about that.
Yeah, I can't have these.
I remember entering in my IGN account, going my blogs, and then said in the newsfeed, Paul Celan said, "Hey, Flia, you want to be part of a podcast?" And I answered, "What? What the hell is a podcast?"
I think the determining factor for Flia.
And then Elia say, "Yeah, we talk about games, about Nintendo, blah, blah, blah." Okay, I think about it. Then the other day, the next day, "Hey, Flia, you want to be part of a podcast?" I said, "Didn't I answer you yesterday?"
I don't know about that. I remember what happened.
I do remember the blog. I do remember that.
I had a blog where I asked everyone who wanted to be on it. I remember Flia was a guest on the first edition of the podcast, and all the comments going down were, "Man, his voice is so sexy." I remember that.
There were so many pictures of Batman. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
that fault is from that asshole of Joff, that motherfucker from my IGN.
So I'm like, all right, obviously these kids on my IGN here love this guy's voice.
Hey, I gotta say, I thought the same thing, and I'm totally hetero. I got a wife over here, but Flia, damn, you sexy, bro. You sound good, brother. That's what I gotta say.
Like, wait, so now you have Flia, you make him read some novels to you?
Yeah. Take that, Troy Baker, you asshole.
So that's how I selected him. I remember Matt was also, I think, maybe a guest at one point. But I remember we have you.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like either the last or second last episode. So
I remember when I
crashed
was a
it.
guest. I remember when I was a guest. I had really fun. I had a blast. I remember like yesterday.
Well, and the thing about Matt, so there's several things. So I remember we'd have conversations all the time too, like in the comments and stuff.
Yeah.
So I already felt familiar with you. And the thing that really threw me off is that you didn't have a huge following base at that time, I think, on my IGN. Like, I remember I would always boast about my followers because I felt so great about it. I'm like, hey, people love me. But, you know, that sounds terrible.
That was actually one of the guys I got, like, was the first time I ever noticed got community spotlighted. I was like, what the hell is that? I want to get that.
Yeah,
and
well.
the man had this, like, super awesome Majora's Mask thing he made. And I remember asking, I was like, that's great, but I hate Majora's Mask. And then he goes to me, he's like, yeah, I hate it too. And I'm like...
So what I would do is I would look at, so whenever someone followed me, I'd go and like look at their profile, whatever. Yeah. So Matt followed me, I remember one day, and I looked at his profile, and he had like, I think 350 or 400 followers, but he was only following like 35 people, and I felt so special that I was one of the 35 or something it was.
I remember something now that I don't know why the fuck something always is wrong with the system of my IGN of following, you know? And I remember that I followed Matt before. And then sometimes when we were in the podcast, the first time we were together co-hosting the podcast, I went and followed him again, but because of the MyIGN crap code in the servers, and Matt said in my newsfeed, thank you, Flia, for following me. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And I say, asshole, I followed you before.
It probably like unfollowed or something like that, and then it like fixed itself after, and I'm like, oh, I guess you followed me now.
But and I remember doing that thing and following Mike and Elia so I can have your three together, you know, one after the other. So that was better for me.
I do remember you doing that, and I was like, now I got everybody I needed, because I was trying so hard for this spotlight shit and I never got it, because I was like, oh damn it, I got too many followers. So it was obviously a curse of my, amazing.
You want to know something about the spotlight? I never got the spotlight.
I never got it. We used to complain about that.
Wait a minute. I never got the spotlight. And also another thing, I think the only one member, or I think there was another one, that became All-Star without voting also. I became All-Star because after the second or the third published blog that IGN put on the main page, they made me All-Star without even voting also.
I forgot about that system.
I forgot that existed too. I mean, I do remember you being an All-Star at the beginning. I was like, oh.
All-Star started like the community had to vote a person once a month of the one that contributed the most or whatever he was doing, blogs, helping in the wiki page or whatever. But it was a community vote, just like the one that Tom does with the community manager nomination for the spotlight. But my All-Star brand that I gained it because of the contribution that I made to the site from my blogs. And I remember specifically the blogs. I did the blogs about the history of Nintendo, how Nintendo how Nintendo involved in the history of gaming.
it was surprising how many people like didn't get the spotlight, but some random schmuck like that just started a new account got the spotlight, even though other people have like been making posts. We're like, okay, some of us have put work into this. This other noob just came out and they're like, let's be happy.
And
for
then
this
once they
person
got
being
it, they would
mentioned.
just disappear. And I
Yeah.
was like, yo, this is such bull. Like, but you know, like, ironically, I think all the followers got because back when, like, before there was no vlog submissions, like, if you just had a good ass vlog, it would be like, oh shit, 4 o'clock when you'd log on, you would have the freaking your vlog on the front page. And you're like, yo, what the flip? All right, you're like going around. I was like. I had like the very first like BuzzFeed-esque article on there, and then I had like some stupid Luigi one. I'm like, yo, I'm getting all these follows right now for, and then I was like, I'd log in. I was like, oh shit, I have a screen cap from all those times because it used to be a really big thing. Now it's just like, oh, all right, but you would see statuses like super active. You would see somebody like, yo, like that was when the notification thing couldn't go like past like 99, but then
Oh my
like if you
gosh.
actually got it past there, it would go all like weird red janky and stuff, and you're just like super hype, and you're like, I can't even keep up with the comments, man. And then it was like after that, you just only cared who followed from you, and you could see where they commented on your newsfeed. And you're like, oh, I'm just gonna respond directly to him, and boom, it'll be good. It'll be cool. It was just awesome.
Honestly, I will forever be mournful of my GN's death because the community was so important for me to develop, me as a writer and me as where I got to where I am. I look back, I started writing on my gen when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And as you expect a 7th grader to write, I wrote terribly when I look back at like what I was writing about and how I was writing. I made it a point to write every single day. For a long time, for several months, I wrote something every single day. And, I was completely, like, looking back, it's, wow. But it's so valuable to me that I did that and that the community was being receptive to what I was writing, even though I sounded like a 12-year-old. And the amount of progress I've come thanks to my IGN and the community that kind of helped grow me in that way. Like I'll forever be thankful, and so that when I log onto my IGN and see kind of the deserted place it is nowadays, it makes me
long for the days of yore.
Exactly. I mean, in the fact, when staff members were interacting with the community, and when the community,
not also that there were at least 5 to 10 amazing blogs per day, that you're really happy reading because they were really cool, well-made blogs, about info, thoughts, reviews, etc.
Hey, there was a good one yesterday from Eli.
Yeah.
So that's
I
one.
did. Well, I posted it. I just reposted from the site. But like, or I would post, a status like who wants to play a match in Halo or who wants to play a match in Smash Brothers. Within 5 minutes, there'd be 8 responses.
Yeah, setting up Smash Bros. And Mario Kart tournaments.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There were so many like other tournaments, and then there was like it went down to a league, and then remember there was the pick'em for Sunday football and stuff from Chili Dog. So it's like you can put in your whole picks and everybody would respond to that. You're like, wow, this is like, I didn't even know there was like 400 active users because everybody wanted to do the pick'em for freaking Sunday football. It was awesome.
And we even still have the MyAGN Secret Santa thing going on still. That's been going on for like 3 or 4 years now, I think.
Yeah, except none of the members are active on MyGN.
Yeah, it's more like Facebook Secret Santa now, but still. So we've kind of talked a bit about this, how we've met each other and stuff. But going back to following Eli and whatnot, yeah, I didn't. Well, for one thing, I didn't really know how MyAGN worked. I'm just like, okay, I posted a thing. I don't know how people follow other people or find things, so I hope someone reads my crap. And eventually they did. And then, of course, I was introduced to people through their blogs popping up in my newsfeed. But I didn't hand out follows a lot because I don't want to clog up my newsfeed with garbage. Like, I personally kind of detest the, oh, you follow me, I'll follow you back kind of mentality, because you're not really following them because they're making anything good. You're just doing it to raise a number, to try to get like a bigger ego kind of thing. So when I follow someone, like I want to follow them with intent.
Feels
so
wonderful, Matt.
Your decision. But that's why I didn't follow many people, because like, okay, if I follow you, I want to know that I'm getting something good out of it. And I liked a lot of the stuff you wrote, and we of course commented a lot back and forth. So that's why I followed you. And pretty much, well, everyone
Yeah,
else for sure.
I'm exactly on the same boat like Matt. Exactly. I'm still, I have now I'm not that active. I have now almost 2,500 followers,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I'm only following 82 people.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm following a lot. I'm following, I think, over 600, but I've got about as many followers as Flia, so I'll take it.
That's insane.
But see, that feeds my ego there. I was like, wow, people like what I'm. Well, okay, let me just say this though. My gen was also just incredibly important for me. In the way, I don't want to say my ego, because that already implies that I had one, which I didn't. Because I was going through like a really, this I guess getting a little more personal, but when my gen first started, and I was about 13 years old, and I was getting on it and using it, I was going through a really tough time in middle school. And I know a lot of people say that they have a hard time in middle school, but I'd say mine was like especially rough. So the fact that I could come home after, a day, like a terrible day, and go on to a community that was like really, really supportive and, constructive, and valued what I loved was really important to me. So in that way too, not just as a growth as like a writer, but growth as a person, and so a place where I could fall back on. My gen was just incredibly important for me.
That's really interesting to hear from me, because like I come at it from such a different door. And when I hear you say that, it actually is like kind of nice, because I've been part of a lot of communities before my IGN. And like, so for me, it's always just kind of this like weird jokey place I went to for a long time. And like, so when I hear someone like, what you're describing is totally valid. It's funny. I have that relationship with other websites and other communities, whereas my IGN has always been like, oh, but it's my goofy video game buddies or whatever. And to think that you went through it like differently like that, is kind of cool, because I don't even know that. I guess I don't realize that that's out there, or I'm not conscious of it on a regular basis or whatever, that some people see those kind of communities in a little different way. So that's super cool, dude.
Yeah, and I didn't mean that as like, oh, you like that a lot of people follow you, you're evil or something. I just meant like people.
I know. I was joking.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying like, because there's people on my IGN who start up an account and follow everyone in the book, and they don't really interact with the community. I don't really like that, because it's like there's no point. You're not here for helping the community. But no, I totally agree. Like, you see someone following you and making comments, like that makes you feel good, because like, hey, someone gives a crap. Like it kind of validates.
I guess we could talk about what's his name, or Kratos God of War.
Yeah.
Like who is that? Is that like a robot?
I don't know. He has like, I'm pretty sure the highest level at all. Like, I'm surprised he didn't. It's not just like, broken.
He posted a comment.
I remember when this guy Le Cambrioleur did a blog about each member of the community, and he was profiling every one of the community in some sort of joking way. And then when he reached Kratos God of War, he put a robot there.
He put a what?
A robot.
A robot. A
robot.
Yeah.
Because he was because every day he'd have a comment on every blog, and it'd be like kind of generic. On his blog, he'd every day post like a press release. And anyway, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, for people who don't know his credentials, I guess you could say, he's level 99, and most of the people on IGN who have been here are like level 30s. He's following 17,000 people, and he has 7,000 followers. So
which account is this again? Is this still Kratos?
Yeah,
or who
Kratos God of War 3. So it seems like
Kratos
been there since like before even my IGN existed, with how many numbers he has, because it seems unrealistic. But
Kratos is real. I mean, like he's responded to me and talked directly to me, not like wrote.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, he also responded to my blog, and And also he listened to the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So what up, Kratos? You're the king of my IGN. You know you won. You know you won.
Yeah. You won. Yeah.
You won, bro.
There's no system that can beat you, Kratos.
I mean, even if they made you get a whole new account and you have like 10 followers now or whatever, it's still all good. So.
I think his last one got reinstated because that's what I was looking at.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there's some issues there, but I think they fixed it out.
So my IGN, we love it and we wish it would come back. So everyone that's out there, if you're listening, we can rebuild my IGN. I mean, if we want to, we can totally do it. All it takes is people commenting on each other's blogs, writing blogs, and be a part of it.
Yeah, and write a letter to IGN just to take a concern about the community, and that I think that if there is a lot of people writing to them, I think that someone will listen, because I think that there's still a lot of members of the community that are really passive acting in the community, like me, for example. I almost go to the community every day just for a minute or two and then go back to my other stuff. But if really a lot of people are doing the same thing like me, I think that if they can fix some sort of way that the notification system, when you comment to a blog, you got a reply in that blog, and also when someone want to reach to you or your followers, the blogs, so you can reply to them. If that thing is really fixed in the way that it was like the old days, I think that IGN will start growing or be more active. I think we will be more active.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember Unoclay said he was talking to Pear and some of the other members and saying, like they don't have any intention of closing it down anytime soon, and just thinking of ideas of working with that. But I think part of the other problem is when the notification system dropped, like a lot of the users just left, and we haven't had any new users to kind of fill in their place. But also, as time went on, just naturally, all of us, a lot of us just went to college and didn't really have much time for it. So the fact that people left and we were kind of in the middle of college, not writing as much, kind of led to having so many people like not being able to post, and then commenters just didn't really start up on their own blogs as much. So it's part of the website's problem, but it's part of just natural occurrences as well that just kind of factored into each other. But yeah, Flia live fire. But just to wrap up, so we naturally kind of progressed into my topic, which was how we all met each other, without me even going into it. But I just kind of want to wrap it up with how I met. I was talking about Eli and Flia I met on the podcast, and Mike. I figured Mike and I met from like a Paper Mario article, and I'm not sure because your account got deleted if the comments got removed off of my blogs as well, because I didn't see any there. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Majora's Mask one was the first one, to be honest.
I remember because I was like interested. I was like, "How did he get spotlight?" And then we really talked. I think it was definitely like a Paper Mario. Like we were just discussing like where we felt between like 64 and 1000. Because I think it might have been during that yearly game voting thing, and it was just like the more upvotes the comment would have, the more that one comment would count towards the vote and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember I was like going off on like it's like, why is it this one over that one? It was awesome though. It was just like after that we talked. It was like we basically loved like all the same games and stuff, and it's like
you can put. This is something that I wanted to say for a long time, and now it's really the cue to say it. You can put Nintendo gamers, I mean, we are fans, all of us, in two sections. The ones that loves Ocarina of Time and the one that loves Majora's Mask. There is no middle point. Nintendo fans are divided in Majora's Masks and Ocarinas of Time.
Ironically, that's kind of true. It's that's true. I can't deny it because like I think about it, when you talk to people about Legend of Zelda, that's like the core relationship.
Definitely, it was. And going back to our comments, we used to write basically essays to back and forth with each other, like longer than the blogs itself.
I would be like, yo, man, hold on. I give you 20 minutes to read your blog back to me, and then I would blog back to you. And I'm like, man, we could just put this. And then our first ever collab was a big ass article about Smash Brothers. It was like
that was awesome.
4,000 words, so many questions and memories. And, dude, it was insanely long. Okay, like me and Matt would meet up on Skype, talk, and I was like, yo, Matt, finish your part. I'll put it in. I'll work around that. And I was like, here's what I'm gonna write. And
I remember that blog. I think that it wasn't. If it was, I think it was Patrick's Raider or someone said, "What the fuck is this encyclopedia?"
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's something Pat would say too. Oh man, it was like we went all in. Like I think only like legitimately like 4 people totally read the whole full thing. Like I think Sam read the whole. But it was like everyone else would just find the section they liked or whatever video we talked. Like we put in pictures and videos. I'm like, all right, I know people are just gonna segment it off once the paragraph nears to the video, but it was great. It was awesome.
Oh, I loved it. I'm surprised I even got followers after my first blog because my first blog was what could Skyward Sword mean for the future of Zelda, and it wasn't as what ended up being reality wasn't as great as I thought, but I wrote like 5,500 words on it, and somehow some people like actually commented. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't even know how you find blogs. But moving on to Unoclay, I'm not even sure to be on, even though you're like the newer person on the podcast, I don't even know how like we really met. Like for some reason you started commenting on like my blogs and then it just like kept going. Like I don't remember from my perspective, but can you shed any light on
No,
that?
no, I can't. I find that a lot of my friendships in real life and online sort of have that same quality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not someone to come like right at you when I don't know you online. Like I'll probably, sort of just be hanging around, commenting a little bit. And it is confusing because even though I'm still waving the flag for my IGN to rise again.
Mm-hmm.
It is undeniable how much has changed. We kind of covered that now. We've gotten it out several times in the podcast in the past, even how we kind of regret that it's gotten so much less lifelike there or whatever you want to say. But I can say like with relation to you guys, there were so many people that when I don't have a face to put to a name or something like that, or there's just so many blogs. Yeah, I don't really recall either. I think I do remember the Smash encyclopedia you guys are talking about that like I wasn't even good at the game yet then, so I didn't really read it because I didn't get a lot of the stuff you were talking about. I was like, I'm a fan. These guys are cool. I probably even commented, who knows, but it's like I probably didn't have anything of substance. So it's funny. I guess my memory for people through my IGN and this podcast is more visual icons than anything. Yeah. Like I notice your icons on my IGN and then remember you because of it. And I've always gotten bothered because of that when people change their icons because I'm like,
who is this person?
Well, I don't even know how to pronounce half of people's handles, so it's like, I don't even know who that is. And that makes it hard to remember them, and it's like, but if your icon kind of stays stable, it helps. I can say that for me personally, and I'm sure I'm not the only person on earth who feels that way. So I don't, you and the other guys here kind of always were more the active users is the way I remember you. Flia stuck out early on because Flia's got a unique style of posting that I like, and I don't know how to describe it. So if you're not a MyIGN user, I don't even know why you're listening to it, but Flia was kind of famous for the way he posted and expressed himself. And I remembered him probably first of anybody because, Batman. Period.
Yeah.
Etc. Like it's got to be said. It's got to be said. Period. I just was like, who is this guy? He's nuts. And like, always like my favorite blogs probably of maybe all time came from Flia because half the time they seem like he's trying to start a fight with someone I don't know, and I couldn't tell if it's like a joke, and it would just be like, yo, motherfucker, like I'm Batman. Period. Like I don't know if this guy's schizophrenic or what's going on, but I like it. So that's the way I remember it, and then the rest, it got.
I remember when some new user said, "But you are not right." Just for example, I said Xenoblade Chronicles is the best game of all time, And they say, no, but it's not the best game of all time. It's not the best RPG either. I say, I'm Batman, motherfucker. What the fuck are you talking about? I say it's the best game of all time. Shut the fuck up.
Classic Flia. Classic
gosh.
Flia right there, people.
Yeah.
You're here first.
The return
So,
of Batman.
That's what I remember. It actually got easier to know people when the crowd started to thin a little bit. I'll say that, because you guys, I want to wrap this up. We've been going on long about this, but you guys were saying how, you only follow a few people. Yeah, look at my number sometime. I'm the same way. I'm 730 or something like that, So it's like, I don't follow a lot of people. I gotta see what you're writing about. And for a long time when the crowd was really dense over there, I only followed people who talked about Nintendo because I just didn't have time to read all the comments for other stuff that I'm not ever gonna play.
Yeah.
So, that was my strategy. You guys always stuck out from the crowd. You guys are all like, classics. Mike getting into his arguments with people and getting banned and stuff like that.
I would come back to IGN if I just could get my old account, man. I wrote.
I remember one comment that Mike said. I don't remember about what game, and then from that comment, it went straight out of hell. I mean, everyone was replying to him and said, this and that. What the fuck did you say about that game? Blah blah blah. You have to be banned from my IGN, you motherfucker. Blah 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 blah. I remember going to I remember being one of the first that answered his status update, for example, saying, okay, Mike, take it easy. I think that you were a little bit drastic. Nothing more. And then I came to the other day and in my newsfeed and was, I don't know, 375 notifications. What the fuck is this?
I think the best part is after that, I totally know IGN went to shit, and I was like, yeah, I was the first guy that left. All right.
And I still don't remember what was the status update about. I don't remember.
It was about Smash Bros. 3DS, man. I'll never forget it. I was like, man, this kid plays Rosalina like a fag, and everyone was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
How dare you? I was like, what?
I remember
I just had a bad laggy experience. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember I was one of the first that answered him and said, Mike, okay, it's reasonable, but try to be a little more easy.
I remember that.
Shit. Yeah, and then I came to the other day in my newsfeed and said 375 notifications. I said, what the fuck? What the heck happened here? And then I knew that he was banned. His account was deleted. I don't remember. I said, what the fuck happened here?
Oh, man.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. I think we should move on for now. I just kind of want to spit out a couple of neat facts that I dug up while going through the podcast. So the original podcast that Elia had with Eli, Mike, Patrick's Raider, and Leia had about 8 episodes. And then the second iteration of that podcast with myself and Flia started in August 2013. And we kept the name until 2015. So that name went on for
what year was the first podcast?
I don't know. So the one you did with Patrick's and Leia, I don't know when you started that because it's not in the Podomatic feed. So you said it went on for a year, so I'm guessing 2012. And I remember there were 8 episodes because I think I downloaded them and listened to them. But the second time with me and Flia, we started August 2013, and then we finally changed the name in 2015 to Just Another Castle. So as far as how long we've started the podcast, maybe not under the same name, but we've been going for basically 3 years.
Wow.
So we had 38 episodes as Maya GN Nintendo podcast, but the way we recorded then was not as frequent. It was twice a month, and it ran for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And if we missed one episode, we basically missed half a month, and if we missed 2, we missed a whole month. So it was a bit more crazy if we missed episodes. But including the 8 episodes and everything else, including this one, we've been up to 96 episodes across 3 years. So it's been going.
So we can have another celebration episode in 4. And
sort of.
Yeah, in 4 episodes we will have 100.
Yeah.
You can celebrate whenever. You just gotta find a reason to.
For sure. This next topic I probably won't want to spend a lot of time on. And I don't think many people had answers for this, but it was, has gaming influenced our lives in any way, in career and personality and relationships? And to give an example for me, for career, it was funny. I saw a developer video from Ty the Tasmanian Tiger where there's like a bunch of people around like a desk eating pizza, and I'm like, that's cool. I want to do that. People are coming up with ideas and eating pizza. It sounds like a fun old time. And then I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it, but regardless, that's how I kind of got into that. And then as far as personality, so I first played Mega Man back on a thing called MAME, which is the multiple arcade machine emulator that my cousin got me. And I played Mega Man the Power Battle. And there wasn't really a way for me to play the classic games until the Wii era, because I don't think I really used any emulators or knew how, or at least not NES ones. And there was no way to buy it back then because we didn't have any digital stores. But once it came out on the Wii, I bought it because I'm like, hey, this is cool. I want to try it for the first time. So I remember Mega Man 2 Heatman stage was by far the hardest level I've ever played in a video game, and it was so hard I basically raged until I couldn't rage anymore. I was like sweating and like yelling and cursing at the TV and getting like red with anger, to the point that after I finally beat it, like any other hard game, I'm just like, I didn't rage out anymore. I'm just like, okay, that was fair. I'll just try it again. Like Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, like I would die a lot, but I would still go through that being like, okay, I'm not going to get mad. It's just a thing that happened. It's just kind of crazy how it changed my perspective and just the way I reacted from like getting so pissed and angry to just like, whatever, it happens. I died. I'll just do it again. So I didn't know if anyone else had any. What?
I'm still trying to process the story, but all right.
I don't have anything to add to it. I'm like,
Okay.
it's neat. It's neat to hear. Like, I was not sure who was going to jump in on that. I didn't want you to leave there thinking that we weren't listening.
No, for me, it's like, like I'm looking at it like, Matt, it's like, it's your story, man. I mean, I know I'm the lovable jerk everybody loves to love, but I was like, man, you know what I mean? Like, I can't write the history of the Schmuggenine, man. Even though I never knew how to say it, so I always thought it was
No,
Schmuga.
you got it right, Schmuggenine.
So what's the frame of the question? You just kind of want to know how gaming, like how
Yeah,
gaming
like if
affected our
gaming
lives?
really
Mike's
affected you in any way.
considering
Like kind of
that-
quickly, because we do have one last thing to go through. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
Well, considering the fact that one of my majors is journalism, based off the premise of video game journalism, I'd say it had a pretty big effect on my life. And I never was into, growing up, I was never very good at English or writing. I was very good at the maths and sciences, and that all kind of changed when I started writing about video games. Now, to be fair, not only has gaming changed my life and my ability to write and think critically and this and that and the other, I think for better or for worse, my writing has had a little bit of a detrimental effect on my gaming, because I feel that when I play games nowadays, I don't have the pure fun enjoyment that I did when I was younger, and that may be because I'm just older than I used to be. But I think also part of it is because I've become so trained to look at all these games so critically, and from such a critical lens, that it's substantially harder for me to just
soak it in.
To soak it in and just get engrossed in an experience. Like, I don't really have experiences, it's very rare for me to have an experience where I sit down and I just can't stop playing, and a lot of the time I have to push myself through games, and I enjoy them and all, but it's definitely changed the way I play games in a way, and on a rare occasion there's a game that comes out and completely breaks that, and for those games I'm very appreciative.
Cool. And we definitely need better video game journalism, so it's
just
good
to
that
point
someone else is getting in there.
just to point out something, that games that come out eventually and break something, it's not the Division from Ubisoft.
Well, I mean, it comes out and it breaks.
I don't give a crap if it has 100 in Metacritic. No, that game didn't do anything. So.
Okay. So I don't know how to go from there. So should we move on? Should we move on to the last sort of topic thing for today, or did anyone else have any other points?
I wanted to add some little thing.
Sure.
About what gaming did or affected in my life. That in some sort of way there still are my alone island, something like my shore where nobody else bothers me, nobody else is with me, and is my one guy island with all the paradise for me, and that is something that, mentally speaking, it helped me a lot, not only in my personal life but also in my professional life.
Yeah. And, well, to add to that, no one can bother you because they're sleeping while you're still playing video games. Oh, man. So I think we'll move on to the last part of today's episode, which is going to be a game. It's the guessing game from before called It's a Me. So, Flia, because you're new to this, I'll give the rundown. So how it works is I give one hint at a time. So I'll give you one hint and you get to guess what the character is. You can ask me yes or no questions, but nothing other than that.
Wait, excuse me. The answer is the name of the game or the name of the character of the game?
The character. So you'll have to guess a character. I'll give you a hint.
So one of my questions, for example, if the main character of the game is, I don't know, a Commander Shepard from Mass Effect, I say, is the character...
You can just say the character name.
Mass Effect?
You can just say the character name.
I can say it.
Yeah. So it's not going to be something obvious like Mario or Link, because that's not really fun, because it's expected. So I'm going for more of the lower tier characters. So I'll give you a hint. You can ask me maybe. You can ask me a yes or no question. And then if you guys are getting kind of stuck, I can give you another clue, and about 3 to 4 clues.
What happened? What does he get? The one that wants.
Nothing. It's just for fun. To spice
you
up
get
the podcast.
Pride.
Yeah, pride.
Yeah. You get pride because I'm still sore from when Mike beat me at the fake Pokemon.
No. Wait. Mike is winning this.
Of course. I mean,
I want to be back in the podcast every day. I have to beat Mike.
So is this more fake Pokemon, or we're trying to guess the game series?
No, so the Pokemon one was just kind of it fit in with the theme, and Unoclay brought up, so that kind of worked. But it's back to just regular low tier characters, like the Glass Joe example from before, things like that. So the first character, I'll give you a hint, is part of a lineage. So this character has a history behind it.
Is this character the main character of his or her game?
Yes.
Donkey Kong.
Is lineage meant to imply royalty?
No.
Okay.
Is it a person?
I know where you headed, Clay.
It's
I
not
know
a
where
person.
you were at it.
Okay, it's not a person, guys.
Is it anthropomorphic?
That's kind of an open question.
How is that open? It could be human or not.
Wait. I have a very important question. Is the first game on the franchise of this character released after or before the SNS?
I don't know.
So is the first game in the series on NES or Game Boy or something like that?
Yeah.
I'd have to look that up if you give me.
Oh wow. Okay, that's weird.
Okay.
Matt didn't come prepared.
I did. I'm just not that far prepared.
That means it's harder because he's not sure. Like, because it's not like one of the core series.
It was on the NES.
Was on
the NES. Okay. Now we are getting at it. Okay.
So non-human character in the NES era.
if we have a guess for a character and we have a reasoning, should we just guess the character?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Could it be?
Oh, you go.
Could it be Palutena from Icarus?
No.
How is it not Donkey Kong?
I asked whether this person is the main character. Palutena is not the main character.
No, Palutena is not the main character.
That's
So
what I'm
it's-
saying. How can it not be Donkey Kong? Okay, Donkey Kong spans from Donkey Kong, which is Cranky Kong from the arcades. Then we have Donkey Kong Jr., which is the son of Super Mario Kart. Then we
it's
have Donkey Kong the Third, bro.
It's
All
not the
right?
answer he's looking for, though. It makes sense what you're saying. Like, so wait, it's not a human, or it's a
It's
humanoid?
not a human.
It's not a human.
Not a human, huh? All right. It's got a lineage. Oh, it's a
Wait,
Pona,
wait.
obviously.
Wait, I have another question.
Okay. Yeah.
That game of that specific franchise,
Yeah.
it came out on Wii also? On Nintendo Wii?
No.
No. Okay. Nice. So the last
so-
game of that...
So it's not Donkey Kong, Mike.
So it's a non-human character that is the main character of its game that kind of has a history behind it. And another hint, it's also been forgotten, or this character has also been forgotten.
Star Fox.
When you say forgotten, you mean it hasn't had a game in a recent while?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh.
But
God
also,
darn
like,
it. Oh wait, it's the guy, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger that you were just talking about.
No.
Boom.
Is it?
Wait.
Is it
He's-
Rob?
no.
Okay.
No.
That's a good guess.
The game of this character released on Nintendo GameCube?
No.
Okay. So
You sure? Because then it could be
Wait,
Crash Bandicoot if he was on the GameCube.
Hey,
No, because he wasn't on the NES.
Oh yeah, you're right. Of course. Hey,
We gotta think about the NES like, and a game. Okay, so it's a lead character, not human, on NES, hasn't had a sequel in a long time.
Lineage.
Lineage, yeah, but that's so weird. He's given us some weird clue there, so I don't know.
Yeah, we need
come on.
we need more.
It has been
Me-
forgotten. So it's
Matt,
not really
you're
a
already
well-known
forgotten.
character.
How can I remember? All right, so come on.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Matt. You only gave us potatoes. I want meat.
Or a vegetarian burger if you have one from me, bro.
Yeah.
No, do you have any other hints that won't give it away full on? I think we're getting stuck here.
Okay, this might give it away. I'm hoping it's not. But this character has had an educational game.
Donkey Kong Jr.
What?
Yes.
Oh, educational game? Okay, hold on.
Mike-
That raises the stakes
Mike
right now.
Mike was so close. He's like, it has a lineage. Oh man, Donkey Kong Jr., the Donkey Kong 2 and
No,
3.
he
I'm
said
like,
Cranky
you're right
Kong and
on
stuff,
it. I'm like,
You
come
said Cranky
on.
Kong.
Yeah, with
I
that
was
clue.
so close. Oh my gosh.
Well, my first guess when you said educational game was Sesame Street, but that's not gonna hurt. Because I did have an educational PlayStation game, alright, but I'm sad that I can't think of this long forgotten educational game.
I know, it's such a tragedy we don't have Donkey Kong math.
Yeah, I know,
anymore.
right? Where's my Donkey Kong math and algebra? Alright,
Where's my Donkey Kong Jr. calculus? Come on.
yeah, gosh.
That was so good. You're so close on that. Okay, so the next one. This character is surrounded by money.
by what?
Surrounded by money.
Scrooge
Yeah,
McDuck.
I know.
No.
The one from DuckTales.
No.
No, I said that. Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, no, he said no.
Okay, is this a human character?
Good.
Yes.
It's a human character.
Human character surrounded by mud?
Money.
Oh, money.
Cash money, bro. Okay, so is this game on Wii U or 3DS? Or this character? Does he appear in any game on either of those systems?
I'm gonna say no.
No. Okay. Is this character the lead character in the game he's in?
Nope.
Is this a first party
It's not
title?
Wario.
No, it's not
Yoshi
Wario.
has
Sorry,
an
Eli.
educational game. I know Yoshi's got it.
I asked if it's a first party title.
Yes.
What? It's a first
Where in the
party
world is Carmen
title?
Sandiego?
No.
Mario's missing?
No. That goes back with the educational one.
That's a game. That's not a character.
Well,
Yeah.
Mario is a character and he's missing, okay?
Wait. Is a Nintendo first-party game or is a first-party game? A first-party title.
It's a first-party title.
Yeah. So to give you another clue, this character is a secret within the game.
I'm laughing out of anger.
What did you say he is? I missed
I
it.
said this character is also a secret within this game.
A secret character
Is
surrounded
it
by
Funky
money.
Kong?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, secret.
So it's like
So
it's
it's a
not a
first-party.
vital.
It's a first-party game
It's-
with a secret character surrounded by money.
Wario, obviously.
No.
Bulma from the,
Scrooge McDuck.
Bulma.
Sorry, what was that,
Scrooge
Flia?
McDuck.
No,
He's
no. They all.
He's
Unoclay
got a
already said that
lineage,
before.
okay, between Donald and
No,
Peach.
there's
Dude,
this one's
lineage
not
is for the past character. Get your shit together, Mike.
Eli's
Man.
getting furious.
Yeah.
So is this a?
Going on forever.
Okay, so I'll just give the next.
Wait.
Hmm?
I got it.
What?
Bulma
Is this
from
a-
Dragon Ball.
We established what system this game appeared on, or like this game has appeared on. Like
You haven't.
Oh, well.
What?
You've
should
just
do that.
said that it's a first-party game. That's all you've asked.
Wait.
It's a
It's a
first-party
Nintendo first-party
Yes,
game?
yes.
Okay.
So this character also has their own room to themselves. So they have their own room. It's a secret character who's surrounded by money.
Oh shit! I think I know this. Okay. Hold on. It's not Wrinkly Kong. It's not any of the Kongs it's odd because there's one Kong who has a mustache and black hair.
is it a Kong?
No,
Oh.
I already did that, so I wasn't gonna do the same one twice. Okay. So this another clue for this character, in a sense,
Is
is
he's made up?
there. How do I word this properly? A contest was involved.
No, that's pretty
Maybe-
good wording.
okay.
That's pretty good. That
Um,
means somebody submitted won a contest and that character design was in a game.
yes.
Yeah, I know what it is, but I don't know the name.
I
So,
don't remember.
just give-
I've heard this. Yeah, I
give
don't
your
remember who it is.
give your ideas.
I remember I literally read this shit. Like I know I read this shit so recently. That's what it's making me. I'm like, it was like something about the '80s and this late '80s, and this guy won a contest and some dumb shit. Oh god.
So in a first-party game, if that helps.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about,
It was
but
named after him.
it sounds familiar. It's not Justin Bailey.
No.
You know, Justin Bailey for the kids in the audience is the code you would type in
That's a
Metroid
good
to
one.
make
That's-
Samus take off her clothes.
Yeah.
You know, and it
Um,
was like nobody knows who Justin Bailey is, but like
That's
it's
a
a code you could type into the original Metroid. But that's not what you're talking about.
All right. I guess I'll give away the last
Yeah,
kind
you
of
gotta
thing.
give
that's
us this
kinda-
one. We don't
So
know, man.
It's in a Zelda game.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
But what?
It's
Tingle?
No. So I guess I went a bit too hard with this. It's Chris Houlihan.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's deep, man.
So
That is deep.
he's the guy who won the contest and got his character in A Link to the Past, where he had his own room, which was kind of a secret, and he was surrounded by
Yeah.
rupees in the whole room.
Oh my
I
god.
really,
Yeah, I remember that.
I knew it.
I
knew it.
didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
I
room
remember I was
existed.
reading shit about this. I was thinking, I'm like, yo, I know this. I remember reading it. I was like, let me click something stupid, and I came up to like, oh, Easter eggs you never believe, and I'm like, I clicked, and I was like, I didn't even know this was a thing, you know?
I would have never guessed it.
Okay. So I'll try to adjust to make it not as
just tone
difficult.
down
It's,
the difficulty.
it's hard because I don't know which ones might be like too easy or too hard, so I'm just kind of like throwing it out there and see what works. But we do have one more. This character hinders your abilities.
hinders your abilities.
Yeah. So remember, you can
It's-
always ask like what generation or what console or
Right.
whatever to help you narrow it down.
Is it a first party Nintendo game?
Yes.
Is this character more than one game?
No.
Super Bomberman 2?
No.
This character hinders your abilities. Is it one of the original Final Fantasies? No, that's too narrow.
No.
Like, I'm just thinking that's not first party anyway.
I know what happens. It's like when you get possessed and you only slowly walk until you can't do anything, right? That's what it's like. You get like possessed and your character's slower, kind of thing.
Are you saying is this character an enemy, or is this character a character who is it trying to assist you and does not? It actually hinders you.
The second one.
The second one. It's a character who's not an enemy. It's a character that's trying to assist you and sort of screws you up.
It's another character in the game.
Gotcha. Is this
it's from Paper Mario, right? It's from Paper Mario?
No.
Damn.
Is it a character you have to, like, carry with you because you have to save them or, like, leave them someplace?
That is a detailed question.
But Matt, I'm telling you, the guy in Thousand Year Door who always curses you, but it's actually some good. No, that would help you out then, because those curses are helpful. Damn.
No. So this character also has authority.
I don't know.
Is it the boss in Metroid Other M?
To answer that question, no. The boss in Metroid Other M?
Whatever. The guy that, like, is bossing her around and doesn't let her have her weapons or whatever. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Adam or something
Yeah,
like that?
Captain Adam Malkovich.
Oh my god, these characters, bro.
Oh, that's mad funny. I get it now. I get it. I just didn't get it.
I was gonna say some sort of Ghost of Yokai Watch, something like that.
Oh my gosh. So apparently I'm making him really hard. So I'll try to work on that. It's kind of hard to gauge. But someone was talking. Or maybe not.
Yeah, I just think.
But
I thought they were good.
That
I
was
thought they were good questions. I thought they were hard.
Okay.
They're good. They're supposed to be hard. We're gamers here. We're not pussies.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'll try to work on that better for next week. But I think that about wraps it up for the show today. So
50 years of the Castle
50
podcast.
years.
We went for a
Yeah.
ridiculously long time. You're welcome, everyone.
I think it was only because we started late. Because I went on for about like an hour and a half almost. It's just that we started late. Or quite a bit late. But so yeah, that ends our anniversary podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. So you can find me at the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And where can people find you, Eli?
You can find me on Twitter at Paulo Salon, and then check me out on NintendoEnthusiast.com. I've published 3 articles in the last 3 days. I've been a productive little writer, so go ahead and check out what I've been writing.
Yeah, check out his Pokemon articles. So Unoclay or Mike, where can people find you?
Hi guys, I'm Mike Troy Fullbuster on Twitter and Gaming Night Live on YouTube. And then a lot of Smish videos coming out this week, so be ready to check them out.
Nice. Unoclay, where can people find you?
I'm still Unoclay1 on my IGN, so you can check me out there. Always hit me up. And like talk games, and I'm still there trying to rebuild the community. And don't forget, I was plugging earlier, there's going to be that Twitch stream tomorrow night of some of my IGNers playing Smash over at the Coco Brian Twitch channel. And if you don't know where that is, you can always check me out on my IGN. I'm Unoclay1, and I'll give you the address.
Cool. And Flia, where can people find you?
By the way, that's
Okay.
Monday night. Sorry to interrupt, Flia. That's Monday night. So
No problem.
listen to this. It's Monday night that I'm talking about. Monday the 14th, I believe, tomorrow. So if you're listening to this after that, you missed it, bro.
Okay.
All right.
You can find me in my IGN as Flia D'Aloisio, and also you can find me active on the Twitter account of Just Another Castle Podcast. If you have any question or anything, I will be active in the Twitter account of Just Another Castle Podcast, so you can find me there too. And also, just to remind everyone, Just Another Castle is awesome. Fucking period.
Fucking weird, bro.
Best way to end it. All right, we'll see you next time, and leave gaming to Nintendo.